7?
It looks like a 7. Yeah, these dice are quite fun, aren't they? Because you can see the dots from the other side of the dice. So it looks...
With the right type of glare, you might be able to convince your opponent you've rolled a 12, so...
you might be able to convince them every time, yeah.
I'm really shocked that Ray isn't playing Sky Striker. I'm stealing your joke from before.
Yeah. Say, hi, I'm Ray.
Hi, I'm Ray. I'm playing what appears to be set to pass.
Yeah,
okay.
It's actually Labyrinth.
Sometimes it does just be that way with combo decks. You just don't draw those right pieces you need. So yeah, Ray just sitting there with 2 set cards. Let's see what Matthew can do going second here into this. We're gonna go.
Was that 2 Poplars in the hand of Matthew there?
Yeah, not ideal, but does have the witch to be able to get the original sin here to get you into Snake Eye. So that's something at least. Gonna go for the wanted set actually. Okay, looks like we might already have that here. And 2 back row. I mean, gosh, I mean, an imperm potentially is really all I could really predict here. Maybe also a call by the grave or something, but unable to play the game, it looks like. Oh, we got a normal summon of the Oak here to bring back the Poplar. Yeah, okay, that's the targeting there. No responses from Ray. And yeah, we'll see just exactly how far Matthew wants to try and attempt to go for game here. Sends itself for cost with the Diabell Star, and yeah, as mentioned, Call by the Grave, one of the best type of removals and disruption currently in the format here, going second especially. Hitting things like the Princess can be very powerful.
Yeah, it's a super nasty hit, because most of the time, you know, you say after you banish one of the Snake Eye monsters, you can just pick it back up with Oak, but when the Oak itself is banished, how do you get it back?
Yeah, and a lot of ways to recur the Oak here, but still lots of ways to keep recurring resources in this deck for Matthew as we go into our Link Karibo to scale with Poplar. And of course the Divine Temple putting the Flamberge onto the Spell and Trap Zone is also really important, as we've got 2 monsters scaled up here. And don't forget we've also got Original Sin. Yep, there it is. Didn't search it out, but if you're not setting Original Sin with Diabell Star, then very likely we've got follow-up in the hand with the Sin for the Ash, and the Ash can probably... I don't think we're going to add Poplar, as you mentioned. We've already drawn, unless we're playing 3 of them. Yeah, Ash for Ash.
Ash can add itself as one of the few cards that can. A lot of
yeah,
cards,
it's weird, isn't it? Right? There's typically cards that add or special summon, they tend to have this restriction of like only itself is the one card that doesn't search here, but it looks like we're going to keep going here, sending the Flamberge, and the Flamberge can trigger to revive both the Poplar and the Snake Eye Ash from the graveyard. Prime Nibiru time potentially if Ray is playing it, although it doesn't look like it. Yeah, rescaling with the effect of Poplar.
Yeah, is this 8,000?
Actually, did we already use the Poplar effect? It scaled itself, didn't it?
Yeah, I think it did. It could be the Flamberge, but I don't know why.
Yeah, probably just Flamberge for Flamberge.
I don't know why you'd do that though. So maybe it was the Poplar.
Yeah, I mean, I think like typically you want to scale like Masquerena or something, but I'm pretty sure Matthew's trying to go for lethal right now. As we go for the Cool Link on the Phoenix here, discarding that hard-drawn Poplar.
My guess is that's a Mannadium reframing.
Ooh,
no, it's a droplet.
Okay, chooses not to chain here to reduce the attack of the Flamberge, but I guess you would just lose a card, potentially for a card that can be brought back with Princess, maybe.
It's interesting, like, Ray could have negated maybe the Ash.
Yeah, yeah. And then it doesn't let you get the second effect off, which is pretty important. So, I don't know, maybe just choosing to not lose any cards from hand because, well, he might need it for next turn, potentially.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if there's going to be a next turn, but maybe
yeah.
just not wanting to discard anything and show your opponent what deck you're playing.
All right, gonna go and climb up into that Princess here, and Princess will revive, and will we be seeing that big Colink Zelantis OTK here?
Is this just enough, or is it not?
No.
It's 2/7, 3,000, and how much attack does Ash start with? Because it gains 1,100 from the field spell, right?
Yeah, these little weenies get absolutely huge with the field spell, but 57 plus Ash is 12, I believe, not quite enough yet.
Ash starts at 12?
It goes up to 12.
Oh, is that small to begin with?
I think so, yeah. It should be like 200-300. Looks like we're just attacking for a little bit of damage here. Not actually going to close out the duel just yet for Matthew. I think hard drawing the Poplar, both of them, has kind of inhibited his ability to put extra materials onto the field.
Although,
Yeah.
you know, Ray's hand bit worse, presumably, than double Poplar.
Yeah, it is unfortunate. But there is a little bit of recursion available potentially if we draw any kind of starter card. I did see a sorry, not Tear Lament, Primeval Planet Perla Rhino. So that is a way to get to Visas, but he does need another combo piece. Can't do anything with just Visas.
Maybe there's already the other Visas in hand.
Okay, we have drawn the other field spell. That's good. So this is Reichphobia, allows you to search out Reichheart. And that's going to be something at least here. So 2-card combo potentially initiating with the Visas being searched from the other field spell at some point. And I don't think we really have a lot of ways to disrupt actually on Matthew's side here. Did we whiff game potentially? Take him down to 400 here.
Yeah,
Didn't actually set up much disruption except Princess.
Yeah, I'm a little confused by that because there's no anything really.
All right, here's Infinite Impermanence on Reichheart.
So here we see like the power, I think, of the Mannadium deck. When one of your effects gets negated, you can just use that thing as a link material.
Okay, opting to use the Princess here on the Lightheart. So we do get the added field spell, but it is once per turn, so that isn't going to be much value. And I think the most important thing as well is like once you remove like that normal summon kind of body from Mannadium, it's hard to keep extending. Typically you can like chain something like Rhymeheart, which we didn't have. You can summon Meek, but we don't have the correct Visa stats on the field here. So removing those bodies is actually huge because after your normal summon is removed, it's actually quite hard to push. So it's going to be a little bit rough here as we resolve this Flamberge to revive 2 and get a search. Multiple searches.
Quite clutch as well. You can put all of your small level 1 monsters in attack mode thanks to your own field spell. Because otherwise, if you put all your monsters in defense mode against the Reichphobia, they can get a free
draw.
pop.
Or, yeah, the destruction effect. Talents is going to help here. That's something. I think Ray's going to want to draw. Oh, actually stealing the Zelantis here. Wonder what we'll do with that, if there's any neat plays you can do in Mannadium with this.
I'm a bit... if you use Zelantis, does your opponent get it back?
Good question. I think it comes back to the field that it was originally owned on. Well, not originally owned on, but the last place it was. You'd think I would know this with rulings with Farfa. Banishing a monster until the end of the turn and then returning. I do think Ray would be able to bring it back here. But it looks like we could just be using it as fodder to get this Visas down.
Yeah, it can be a little complicated, things like this, because most effects, if you banish it and then summon it again, it would reset it. But I think if you banished it and then summoned it again, it would definitely go back to the opponent in the end phase. So taking control is a bit of a weird kind of mechanic in Yu-Gi-Oh!
Well, we're not going to find out today because Visa Starfrost will be destroying the Zelantis we steal to get itself onto the field. And now because we control Visa Starfrost, we can actually bring back Lightheart from the graveyard. And that's going to give us a little bit of extension plays because I think Cross Sheep into Astrolaud is most likely our next step here.
We missed out on a proper potential rulings with Farfa opportunity.
Yeah, sadly not one for this round here as Ray is going to be linking off. And I would assume the Cross Sheep is okay. No, we're going to go for the SP Little Knight. That's going to banish a card. And Princess might be a good target. Flamberge is also a good option, although we have 2 in circulation, so it might not be that strong here. It gets rid of the Princess, and typically people only really play 1, so a little bit of recursion disrupted from Matthew here. Don't forget, Ray is like really low on life, so we need to make sure that we don't, well, we either close out this game or set up in such a way that we can't just immediately lose to Battle Phase attack for just 400 damage.
And closing out the game is going to be quite difficult when you've used the effect of SP.
Oh yeah, that's true actually, yeah, because you can't attack, or you can't do any damage.
You can't attack directly, isn't it?
I think you can, it just doesn't do damage. But that Link Karibo actually putting in a little bit of work here as Astrolaud targets the level 1, dodging, and then bringing out the Pyro Phoenix as well from the grave here. So this is quite a lot to still fight through.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of recursion is gone for Matthew, so the Princess is gone, the Oak is gone. But again, well, I suppose once your opponent's already down to 400 life points, the damage is maybe done.
Yeah, it's quite a hefty amount of damage we've taken here. And we are going into the battle phase, so it doesn't look like we're going to set up too much else right now. clears that Poplar. And yeah, I don't think we also gain the effects, or rather, I don't think we gain the damage of the from the Astrolabe because I think we lost the target with the Link Rebo. But damage is damage, and then it looks like we're just going to go end phase for Wanted, and Ray actually scoops it up for this game number 1, is what you're telling us.
Exactly.
Oh, we've already started here. Looks like we're going to go King Sarcophagus, discarding Obsession.
I quite like that, because Obsession does have its graveyard effect, right? So
yeah, banish it to, I believe, special summon Visas from hand here. Then we're discarding Calarium, it looks like, to get the next Horus monster onto the field here. That's going to be Happy. And yeah, this is exactly what you mentioned beforehand, right? You have an instant rank 8, you haven't committed to your normal summon, and if you're discarding Calarium, that tells me that Ray should probably already have something to keep comboing it with here. There's the extra copy in our hand. Calarium's going to get Reamheart, and then from here, if we also have another combo piece, like any other field spell or Visa Starfrost, this is going to be a really terrifying field here.
Is Obsession in the grave kind of enough to do all the comboing you want?
You need to already like have hard draw on one of the pieces. Gamma is pretty strong here. Now, this is a bit of an awkward situation because Photon Lord needs a Galaxy monster specifically as a material to negate and destroy. But if it doesn't have a Galaxy monster, it only negates. And Gamma is not once per turn. So Matthew can actually use this Gamma again later on. Provided that no other monsters hit the field, but, you know, very unlikely when going second here. Yeah, you can see he's reading Gamma just to double check that it actually isn't once per turn.
Yeah, I mean, this was quite a classic interaction between Gamma and Ash Blossom. You know, maybe you'd Ash it once just to make sure you resolved a really important monster effect, but it never felt good.
Wow. Gamma and Imperm is huge here. All right, so we're going to prevent the Photon Lord negating the Gamma. The Gamma resolves to negate and destroy the Reamheart, which removes the body. And then from there, I mean, again, like I mentioned in game number 1, if you don't stick your normal summon on the field, it's really rough for Mannadium. Because generally, if you get hit with something like Imperm or Ash, like you can sometimes keep extending and playing with Visas and Meeks. But when you actually remove that body, the summoning condition is no longer fulfilled, and therefore you won't be able to extend. And that's exactly what happens here, set and pass.
Yeah, was that a Talents picked up for Matthew as well? So just maybe needing one card to force out the Photon Lord, and then the Talents is going to activate.
Yeah, this is pretty grievous here as we begin with Blackstar discarding the Wanted. And I guess like you just have to decide what do you do here, right? You know there's the ability to negate once and only once. But if you're Matthew, you should be pretty happy here because you're you know that you've got that Talents for that insurance on this play. All right, setting Original Sin with the Diabell Star here from the deck, and now we can send to special. If we don't already have access to a normal summon, does look like that's what we're doing here.
Here we go, here comes the Ash.
Yeah, Ash on summon effect to search, and that is exactly what Matthew will do here. Ray choosing to hold this Photon Lord.
Is the Photon Lord, you can just use it a couple of times even?
I would assume you can just
It
Photon
just
Lord
one as
again,
well,
you know, just as long as you have the material for it. Probably trying to save for, like, you know, when you, like, use the send effect, potentially, of Ash. Because, again, it's really powerful when you have a Galaxy under, because it destroys. So negating and destroying Ash is good, but if you're just negating it, it doesn't feel as impactful, because they still have the secondary effect available to them.
But it's still not going to be, you know, I suppose for Matthew, maybe just... You can already get a copy of Flamberge out of your deck with the field spell. So then you can kind of maybe link off the Poplar, and then you'll have a couple of things to bring back for Flamberge. Even if the Ash doesn't resolve, they'll still get to send a Flamberge to the grave.
Yeah, Matthew going for the Flamberge onto the field here with the Divine Temple. So that's going to be Nibiru proof as well, potentially, if he's scared of that. But looking like we're going to use that secondary Ash effect to special summon from the deck here. And I think maybe Ray might be holding off for the... ooh, but now you can't actually. I was going to say, like, you can negate the Flamberge in the grave, but if you're using Chainlink 2 Oak, then... Oh, we're not using Flamberge? Do we not have the materials? We do have the materials in the grave, right? One of these should have resolved, surely, right? Did we
Yeah,
just...
I'm a bit confused. Like, definitely the Oak activated, but
Yeah, so you're going to go Oak and Flamberge, both of them activate, and we used Photon Lord to negate something, but something hasn't triggered here?
yeah, I kind of
Unless we
assumed.
just didn't use one of them?
Yeah, because I guess the point of making the Linkaribo was just to have the extra fire in the grave for the for the Flamberge, but
Okay, well, oh, Dart Monster. The Horus monsters are indeed, so Dart gets to keep climbing here. And that's a Princess. Princess bring back Flamberge. Oh, gonna bring back Oak, actually. Okay, so yeah, I guess Matthew actually didn't use the Oak. Just used only Flamberge. Flamberge was negated and then saved the Oak for this exact opportune time. And now we just get to go for the Zelantis. Zelantis clearing the field, returning everything back. Triggering the Princess. Princess destroying both here. And then also triggering the Pyro Phoenix. And yeah, that's just game. Wow.